Lili was standing by my car as we approached. She had a digital SLR camera slung around her neck and a cargo vest over her sundress. I knew that the pockets contained extra lenses, filters, and a rubber lens hood. She had pulled her curls into a ponytail and exchanged the ballet flats for a pair of duck boots. Smart move, given how marshy the college property had become after the week of heavy rains. Who knew how bad it would be out at Friar Lake, especially if the property had been abandoned for a while. We hopped into the Beamer and headed out. "I didn't tell you before," I said as I navigated my way through the campus to the road that would lead us down to Friar Lake. "But I got roped into this college connection thing. Have you heard about it?" "I was in the meeting, Steve." She leaned against the door and looked at me. "I slipped in late and I waved at you as we were walking out, but you were busy talking to Jackie Conrad and you didn't see me." She lent me a brain cell for the meeting. Before I could explain, though, we reached the bottom of the hill, where the swale on both sides of the road was under water, and I had to focus on driving. The Beamer's rattle startled a couple of mallards, who lifted gracefully and winged away. I drove carefully, staying to the center of the country road as much as possible. "I don't need the extra aggravation of this college connection thing," I said. "I wish there was a way I could duck out of it, but I'm sure Babson will be on me all the time about Friar Lake, and he'll definitely notice if I drop out." "You'll have to come up with something that doesn't take a lot of effort on your part," she said. "We can brainstorm once you read the book." "Yeah, my homework," I grumbled. She elbowed me. "You sound just like a student." "Don't get me wrong, I love to read," I said. "I just hate having my books chosen for me. I had enough of that getting my master's degree. I remember after I graduated walking into a bookstore and realizing that I could pick any book I wanted and have plenty of time to read it." The land along the road was flat and the water table high. A hedgerow of mature oak, maple, and sassafras framed the farms we passed. It looked like the kind of place Peter Rabbit would live, and as I drove, I longed for the easy days of childhood when all I had to worry about was when my library books were due. We came to the turnoff for Friar Lake, and I pulled to a halt at the access road. It was blocked by a rope tied around a pair of leafy green maples. A sign that read, "Private property, no trespassing," hung from it. I stepped gingerly out of the car. The ground underneath my feet was spongy, but the gravel road seemed in pretty good shape. "Not much of a deterrent," I said as I undid the simple half-hitch knot on one end of the rope and dropped it to the ground. I returned to the car, kicking the dirt off my soles before I got back in. The road wound through a stand of trees and then branched in two. The right fork led to a low-slung ranch house, and beyond it the sparkling waters of Friar Lake, with a couple of ducks paddling near the shore. To our left, the road climbed up the hill to the monastery. "Might as well start down here," I said, turning right. I pulled up in the gravel lot in front of the ranch as we piled out. Rochester immediately took off for a tree at one side of the house and lifted his leg when he reached it. Lili and I began to walk carefully around the exterior of the building where the Friars had lived. She'd been smart to switch to boots. I was still wearing my deck shoes, which had a good sole but were already getting mucked up. I recalled from the report that the building had been acquired by the monastery in the 1970s to serve as housing for the friars. It looked like it had once been a standard suburban ranch, with a clapboard extension on the right, a series of windows implying that the bedrooms were down there. On the left was what looked like a large workroom or assembly room, and then a double-wide garage. I looked around for Rochester. "Where is that dog?" I didn't see him, but I could hear him. It sounded like he was digging. "Oh no, Rochester, don't you eat anything?" I took off running around the side of the house, my shoes desperate for purchase on the slippery wet grass. Rochester was a few hundred yards away, down near the water's edge, digging at something. "He's going to eat some dead thing and then throw up again. I just know it," I called back to Lili, who was following me at a more careful pace. I slid on a muddy patch and lost my balance, but I was able to windmill my arms and catch myself. "Rochester!" I yelled. "Bad dog! Stop that right now!" He ignored me, not a surprise. I stepped more carefully toward him, my deck shoes covered in mud and squelching as I walked. "You're in big trouble, Buster." I finally got close enough to grab hold of his collar and pull him back. Looking down, I saw what he'd been digging up. A decomposed human hand, palm up, attached to a partially skeletonized arm which continued down into the ground.